Before he became the Hollow King, he was simply their king. He walked among his people. He knew their names. He settled disputes himself. Every harvest brought celebration. Every victory belonged to the kingdom, not the crown. They loved him, and he loved them. Then, something changed. The king stopped appearing in public. Festivals ended. The palace gates closed. Taxes increased. Soldiers began patrolling every street. Anyone who questioned the crown simply disappeared. People whispered, "He's gone mad. Power has consumed him. He no longer cares for us." The man they once cheered became the monster they feared. Years passed. Eventually, the nobles could endure it no longer. Knights gathered beneath the royal banners. They marched on the palace, determined to end their king's rule. Instead of a battle, they were met with silence. The halls were empty, just dust. The king sat alone upon his throne, still, waiting. He didn't move. He simply looked at those who came for him. Legend of the Hollow King. The stories tell of a king who slowly stopped speaking. Court meetings ended, celebrations disappeared, the castle gates closed. His people begged for answers. None ever came. Some believed he had gone mad. Others whispered he had become cruel. Eventually, they stopped calling him their king. They called him the Hollow King. But something doesn't fit. Kings who hate their people don't usually lock themselves away. They rule through fear. They command armies. They conquer. Yet this king simply disappeared. So what was happening inside those castle walls? At first, the servants vanished, then the guards, then the advisors. One by one, everyone left. Or so history says. But history never explains why no one ever returned. Deep within the abandoned library, investigators found journals, written by the king himself. Most had been damaged by time, but a few entries remained. Journal entry number 1.
The dreams have returned. Something watches from beneath the throne. It speaks only when I am alone.
Journal entry number 2 reads this.
My council believes I have become distant. I pray they never discover why.
Here is journal entry number 3.
If the voice speaks true, then no one else can remain here.
Why would he send everyone away? Records show entire wings of the castle were sealed. Supplies stopped arriving. Messengers were turned away. Even neighboring kingdoms received no reply. Here's another entry from the king.
They think I have abandoned them. Perhaps that is kinder than the truth.
What could frighten a king so much that he would rather be remembered as a monster than risk someone staying beside him? Eventually, soldiers gathered outside the gates. They would force their way into the throne room and finally confront their king. But what they found would become one of history's greatest mysteries. What if the Hollow King never lost his mind? Now part 3 of the Hollow King. The soldiers stood frozen. The throne room was silent. Only a king on his throne. Yet something about him felt empty. Not dead, but hollow. One soldier noticed a journal resting beside the throne. Its final page had already been opened. He began to read.
If you are reading this, then I have finally forgotten my own name.
The room fell silent.
It did not promise me power. It did not promise me immortality. It asked only for memories. One memory, each day. At first, I surrendered small things: the taste of bread, the smell of rain, the songs my mother once sang, but the price never stopped. Soon I forgot the faces of my generals, then the names of my servants, then my closest friends. One morning, a little girl waved to me in the courtyard. She smiled as if she knew me. I smiled back, but I could not remember who she was. That was the day I emptied the castle. Better they believe I hated them than watch me forget them while they still remembered me.
The soldier's hands began to shake. The final paragraph stated this:
It feeds upon what makes us human, not flesh, not blood, memory. Each day it grows stronger. As I become less, soon I will forget why I locked these gates. If that day comes, do not let it leave. Please forgive me.
The soldier slowly looked toward the king. The hollow king slowly raised his head. His empty gaze met theirs. For a single heartbeat, nothing happened. Then every torch in the throne room went dark. A low rumble echoed beneath the castle. The stone floor trembled. From somewhere deep below came a sound no human voice could make. The soldiers staggered backward. One dropped his sword. Another screamed,
"Run!"
They fled from the throne room. Only the hollow king remained, still staring toward the darkness beneath his throne. The soldiers fled. None dared return to the throne room. The king, however, was never seen again. And so, the castle was abandoned to history. Evercrest became a forgotten kingdom. But to the people who lived there, it was the place where they laughed, where they fell in love, where they raised their children, where they believed tomorrow would come. They celebrated harvests, gathered in the town square, and watched the sun rise over the castle walls without ever imagining those mornings would one day come to an end. They never knew they were living through the final chapter of Evercrest. To them, it wasn't a legend, it was home. Eventually, kingdoms fall, generations forget. Truth becomes rumor, rumor becomes legend. The soldiers escaped the castle, but the darkness never truly stayed inside. Year after year, decade after decade, something unseen seeped into the kingdom. The fields stopped growing. The rivers grew silent. The animals disappeared. Fog became a permanent inconvenience. Travelers avoided the valley. Children were warned to stay away. No one remembered why. Its people were gone, its king forgotten, and with time, even its name faded from record. Only the castle remained, watching, waiting, as if it had never truly been abandoned. The people who lived nearby no longer spoke of Evercrest. They had forgotten that name long ago. Now the legend has a different name. The Black Fortress. The Black Fortress stood untouched. No army could conquer it, no king could claim it, and those who came near it were driven to madness. The Black Fortress would be a blight upon this land. Until a hero entered the Black Fortress to save the world.